Number 10, the uncanny valley. Okay, let's be honest. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is a born clown enthusiast. Sure, some of us pretended we were in kindergarten, but deep down, we knew. We knew that behind those painted smiles and oversized shoes was something fundamentally wrong. And it's not just clowns. Think about porcelain dolls with their glassy stares, mannequins standing a little too still in a store window, or those creepy animatronics from old school theme parks. The fear isn't irrational, it's a hardwired survival response. This phenomenon has a name, the uncanny valley. It's a hypothesis in robotics and aesthetics that describes our emotional reaction to things that look almost human, but not quite. When something is clearly an object, like a cartoon character or a teddy bear, we feel empathy or amusement. When something is a perfect replica of a human, we feel a natural connection. But in that strange middle ground, where an object is eerily similar to a person, but still has subtle, unnatural flaws, like a clown's disproportionate features or a doll's lifeless eyes, our brains go haywire. Your brain is a masterful pattern recognition machine. It spends all day, every day, categorizing and predicting. Is that person a friend, a stranger, a potential threat? The slightest twitch, the most subtle change in pupil dilation, the way their lips move, your brain processes it all. But when it encounters a face that has all the right parts in all the right places, but something is just off, it flags it as a major red alert. It's like a visual equivalent of a computer virus. The code looks right, but it's loaded with something malicious. This triggers a primal alarm bell. Is this a sick person? A corpse? A predator? Our distant ancestors would have had to process this in an instant. A person who couldn't move their facial muscles might be sick with a plague, and a person with a smile that's a little too wide and unblinking might be a predator. We've evolved to be suspicious of that which doesn't conform, and the uncanny valley is basically your nervous system throwing a tantrum in your honor. Number 9. The fear of the dead and not so dead. Speaking of things that are almost alive, let's talk about our deep-seated aversion to corpses. This one feels obvious, right? Nobody wants to be around a dead body. But why? The immediate answer is a mix of gross-out factor and the uncomfortable reality of our own mortality. But buried deep within our DNA is a far more practical and chilling reason: disease. For most of human history, a dead body wasn't just a somber sight, it was a biological ticking time bomb. Our ancestors didn't have microscopes or a germ theory of disease. All they knew was that if a body was lying around, people who touched it or even got too close often became sick and died. This created a powerful evolutionary pressure. Those of us with a strong instinctual disgust for the dead and decaying were more likely to avoid them, and thus more likely to survive and pass on our genes. This is why the sight of pale skin, rigid limbs, and a lack of movement triggers a primal alarm. It's a biological indicator of something to be avoided at all costs. But our brains don't stop there. This same aversion extends to things that resemble corpses, like dolls and mannequins. A perfectly still mannequin in a window with its blank stare and unchanging smile triggers the same fear response. It's an object that looks alive but has none of the telltale signs of life. No blinking, no breathing, no subtle muscle shifts. Your brain, in its evolutionary wisdom, sees this and thinks, this isn't a person. This is a person-shaped thing that doesn't have a heartbeat. Run. The fact that we still get that creepy feeling from something we logically know is inanimate is a testament to how deeply ingrained this survival mechanism is. Basically, your brain is overreacting to save you from a plague that no longer exists. Number 8, the misdirection of the face. Have you ever noticed that a clown's smile is painted on, and it rarely, if ever, matches the expression in their eyes? A doll's face is a permanent, vacant stare, no matter how you turn it. Your brain, again, is an expert at reading faces. We've evolved to rely on a complex network of subtle cues: the crinkle at the corner of an eye that denotes a genuine smile, the slight furrow of a brow that signals concern. This is how we build trust, read emotions, and navigate social situations. Our faces are dynamic. They are a constant stream of micro-expressions, all of which your brain processes in a fraction of a second. A clown's painted-on smile, however, is a mask that deliberately breaks these rules. The exaggerated features, the giant red lips, the wide, unblinking eyes, are a form of visual misdirection. They hijack your brain's natural ability to read a face. When you look at a person, your eyes dart around their face, trying to piece together a coherent emotional state. But when you look at a clown, the painted smile says happy, while the eyes might be cold or vacant or simply unreadable. Your brain can't reconcile this. It's like a computer program with a bug. The input data doesn't match the expected output. This mismatch creates cognitive dissonance, a mental discomfort that we instinctively interpret as a threat. We don't know what the person behind the mask is truly feeling, and that uncertainty is terrifying. This applies to dolls and mannequins too. Their faces are a single static expression. There's no subtle shift in emotion, no change in expression. Your brain sees this and screams, "Error, error, this is not a face, it's an imposter." The uncanny valley isn't just about something looking almost human. It's about something that looks human but refuses to play by the rules of human social interaction. It's a trick, and your brain, in all its primal wisdom, knows it's being lied to. Number 7, the mimicry of a predator. Think about the face of a predator, the great white shark with its unblinking black eyes and a mouth full of razor-sharp teeth, a wolf, its lips curled back in a snarl to reveal its fangs. What do these all have in common? They're designed to terrify. Now, what do clowns and dolls do? They mimic and exaggerate these exact features. A clown's wide, painted smile is a stylized version of a snarling predator. The unblinking eyes of a doll are a lot like a shark's. They don't move, and they don't betray emotion. Our brain has an ancient, deeply ingrained fear of being prey. This is why we are instinctively wary of things that move too fast or too slow, or in ways that defy our expectations. And a huge part of that is recognizing the features of something that might want to eat us. So, when a clown walks toward us with a giant, unblinking smile and no discernible emotion in their eyes, our brain taps into that ancient terror. We see a mockery of a human, with a face that's been distorted to look like a predator's. It's the ultimate bait and switch. Your brain is telling you, this looks like a person, but it's wearing the face of a monster. This is why the fear of clowns and dolls is so universal. It's not a phobia you can just logic your way out of. It's a primal, evolutionary reflex. The uncanny valley isn't just about things that look almost human. It's about things that look almost human, but have been subtly corrupted to look like something that wants to hurt us. It's the visual equivalent of a fire alarm going off in your brain, even when you know there's no fire. And for a lot of us, that alarm is loud, and it's telling us to run. Number 6, the capgras delusion. Have you ever looked at someone you know, a family member, a friend, or even yourself in a mirror, and felt like something was off? It's a feeling like your brain is sending a little red flag that the person you're looking at isn't the real one. There is an extreme version of this called capgras delusion, a rare psychiatric disorder where a person believes a loved one has been replaced by an identical imposter. While this is a clinical condition, the core fear is wired into all of us. The delusion works like this. The part of your brain that recognizes faces is working fine, but the emotional connection to that part is broken. So you recognize your mom's face, but you don't feel any emotional connection. Your brain, in its attempt to explain this abnormality, comes up with an irrational conclusion. This isn't my mom. This is an imposter. Your brain would rather believe a crazy story than admit that there is a glitch in its wiring. And this is where our fear of clowns and dolls comes in. They are a mild version of the capgras delusion. They have faces and expressions designed to trigger a certain emotional response, joy, cuteness, but they lack any real emotion. A clown's wide, painted grin is deliberate, not natural, and a doll's glass eyes don't reflect feeling or intention. Your brain tries to make an emotional connection to these expressions, but it fails. This is a smiling face. One part of your brain says, but it doesn't feel happy. The other part says. This inconsistency creates the anxiety we interpret as fear. It's like your brain is playing an emotional puzzle game, and the two most important pieces, the face and the emotion, don't fit together. Number 5, the loss of peripheral vision. Have you ever walked down a long, dark hallway and felt like someone was watching you? You turn around, and there's no one there. Or you catch a quick glimpse of an old doll on a shelf and feel like it's staring at you, even when you're not looking directly at it. One of the creepiest things about clowns and dolls is that they seem to always be watching you. While this is illogical, your brain has a very good reason for thinking it. In our evolutionary history, the ability to detect movement and threats in our peripheral vision was critical. We could spot a lurking tiger or a hidden enemy at the edge of our vision without having to look directly at them. That system works on changes, a movement, a shadow that's out of place, a sudden glint of light. But clowns and dolls perfectly trick this system. They are stationary, but their faces and eyes are designed to grab attention. The large, fixed eyes of a doll or the painted face of a clown are powerful focal points in your peripheral vision, especially in low light. The absence of any movement, while those prominent features are still there, sends your brain into a state of confusion. It can't identify whether it's a person. It's waiting for the subtle movements, the blinks, the breaths, but there is none. So, it comes to an irrational conclusion. If it's not moving but I can still feel it there, it must be hiding and waiting. Basically, it's an ancient psychological trick. When your brain can't be sure about something, it defaults to fear. Number 4, the unseen monster. Consider the monster in every horror movie. It's almost never the thing you can clearly see. The scariest moment is when you only catch a glimpse, a shadow in the corner of your eye, a sound from the other room. Why? Because the unknown is always scarier than the known. Your imagination is a far more powerful and terrifying tool than any special effect. It fills in the blanks with your deepest, most personal fears. Clowns and dolls weaponize this human tendency. They are a physical representation of something that is not quite human, but not quite a monster either. A person dressed as a clown is a human being underneath the makeup, but your brain is so preoccupied with the painted mask and the unnatural smile that it can't quite see the person. It's like your brain has hit a buffering screen. It's trying to load the human data, but it keeps getting an error message. Is it a person? Is it a monster? Your brain can't decide, so it creates a hybrid, a creature that is half human and half demon, with a face that's both familiar and utterly alien. And the same goes for dolls. They are an object, but their human-like features, the face, the hair, the clothes, trick your brain into believing they could be something more. When you see a doll on a shelf in a dark room, your brain's imagination takes over. It fills in the gaps, a slight tilt of the head, a subtle movement of the eyes, a flicker of a smile. This is why horror movies and shows like Chucky or Annabelle are so effective. They take something that your brain already finds unsettling and give it life, turning it into a monster that your brain has already been preparing for its entire life. Number 3, the contagion of expression. Think about how you react to a yawn. You see someone yawn, and before you know it, you're yawning too. It's an involuntary, subconscious reaction called contagious yawning. It's a fundamental part of our social wiring. Our brains are designed to mimic and mirror the expressions and actions of others to build empathy and understand what they're feeling. A smile, a grimace, a look of sadness. These are all things our brains process and, to a small degree, replicate. It's how we connect as a species. A clown's face is a complete breakdown of this system. The painted-on smile is a mockery of a real one. It's an expression that you can't mirror or catch. You see a mouth that is smiling, but the emotion behind it is non-existent. The same is true for a doll. Its features are frozen in an expression that feels like it should be conveying something, but it's not. There's no muscle tension, no crinkling of the eyes, no subtle change in the face. Your brain is trying to connect with this face, to understand it, but it's like a phone call with dead air. It's an empty signal, and that emptiness is unnerving. This isn't just a simple case of the uncanny valley. It's a specific violation of our social instincts. We rely on the ability to read and mirror emotions to feel safe around others. When a face looks human but lacks the basic biological feedback that allows us to connect, our brains interpret it as a threat. The contagion of expression is a biological handshake. A clown's or a doll's face is a hand that's been cut off at the wrist. Your brain, in its evolutionary wisdom, recoils in horror, not just at the sight of the face itself, but at the sheer unnaturalness of it. Number 2, the fear of the mask. From ancient rituals to modern-day festivals, masks have always held a special, often unsettling place in human culture. On one hand, they are transformative, allowing a person to become something else entirely. On the other hand, they are deceitful, hiding the true identity of the person underneath. This duality is a source of profound psychological discomfort, and it is at the very core of our fear of clowns. A clown's face is a permanent, smiling mask, but it's not a normal mask that can be taken off. It is painted on, a literal second skin that obscures the person underneath. We've evolved to trust faces, to read them for signs of honesty, emotion, and intent. A mask takes all of that away. It turns a living, breathing person into a blank slate. Your brain, accustomed to gathering a flood of information from every facial twitch and eye movement, suddenly receives nothing. And when the brain is deprived of information it expects, it fills in the blanks with the worst-case scenario. This is a primal fear, the unknown intentions of an unknown entity. The person behind the mask could be anyone, and their motives could be anything. Are they harmless? Are they a threat? Are they smiling at you because they are happy or because they are getting ready to do something terrible? The painted smile is not a sign of joy. It's a taunt. It's a visual dare, a challenge to your brain's most basic function. And because your brain can't win, it falls back on the one response it knows will keep you safe: fear. The mask isn't just hiding a face, it's hiding a mystery. Number 1, the lack of a soul. At the end of the day, what really terrifies us about clowns and dolls isn't just their looks or their stillness. It's the simple, chilling fact that they lack a soul. We're a social species, wired to recognize and connect with other living beings. We look at a face and we see life. We see a story. We see a soul. We see someone who can feel, who can think, who can share in our existence. A clown or a doll is a void where a soul should be. It's a face with no inner life. It's a body with no consciousness. We are faced with something that looks like us, but it's utterly empty inside. It's the ultimate negation of what it means to be human. It's a dead thing pretending to be alive, and nothing is more fundamentally disturbing than that. We look at a doll and we see a perfect replica of a person, but we can't shake the feeling that something crucial is missing. It's like staring into an empty house with all the lights on. Everything looks normal from the outside, but you know deep down that there's no one home.